Hi everyone. So today we are building a rack system, but it's not basically for text. It's basically for images. So we are using Quadrant to store the embedding of images. So if I can show you, so first we have trigger flow. Now we have defined environment variable. Now in the environment variable we are using Qdrant, and Qdrant is basically a rack system, and it is stored the embedding of the images, text, as well as videos. So now if you go to Qdrant, you can see you need to first create a cluster, and after that you need to and copy the endpoint and go back and paste it here. Now you need to define collection name, and collection is like a folder inside your cluster. And now you are also defining the embedding. And embedding, we are using this size because we are using Voyage is basically a platform that used to create embeddings for text, images, as well as videos. And then remove the assets for now once you execute it, now the second is, first we need to check if the quadrant collection is already exists inside quadrant or not. So we need to go to Quadrant API and then go to collections. In the collections you can see we have check collection existence. Now you need to use this URLs to check if that is or not. So we are giving a cloud URL and then name, and the name is agriculture crops. And then once we execute it, you can see uh, now we are checking condition. So you can see it is exist. So if exist, then skip this part. If not, then create a quadrant collections. And you need to go to again and use create collection endpoint, and then the method will be post. Then you need to find API key and then collection name of the collection you want to give. And then in the data you need to define vectors, and the vectors you can give a size and then distance. So distance is basically how embeddings will be, how vector will be matched, uh, and then you need to define a distance which is cosine similarity. So it find a similarity based on the distance, and then we have giving a size. So then you need to give same things once you execute. So basically we don't have any run here. So now we have payload index, and the payload is like a metadata you can give while creating the uh, embeddings. So that help us to, when you want to search these embeddings, you can define the name so that it don't need to scan all of the images. So it basically go direct to the image. So you can define a field name which you give anything like crop name, and then field schema as keyword. And then you in the API reference you need to use the index, so this one, and create payload index. Then after that, once we have collection created, we are defining. So we need an image. So for image, I'm storing this image in a Supabase. Now this is the image, and now we use this URL and then paste it here. Now we also defining the image name. So once you execute, now we have variables. Now we need to embed this. Embedding for this we are using Voyage AI. So if you go to API reference, we are using multimodals. So basically that means it will use for text, images, as well as videos. So this is the data body content, and then we need to find the image URL and then image path. And then once you execute it, now you can see we have created embeddings of the image. So basically we are using one image for demo purposes, but we would have multiple images. And then we are using points. So in the quadrant, if you go to points, point is basically used to store embeddings. So we are using observed point, and then this will be the URL. We need to define the collection name and then points. And in the data, we need to give embedding. So for, if you go to body, you can see we need to define ID, which is chip unique, and then vectors. So these all the embeddings. And then once you execute, you can see we have created embeddings in the quadrants. Now in the second workflow, we will see.